Okay, so today I'm talking about, well, at least this was my thought, that I was going to talk about communicating with love. So first of all, we've all heard this, we've heard this forever, that most communication is non-verbal. So just hold that most of what we're communicating, most of what we're getting from other people, and most of what other people are getting from us is non-verbal. So under the cone of science of mind, what I think this is that because all minds are connected, the science of mind and Ernest Holmes teach us there's only one mind, and we're all it. So if there's only one mind, of course we know what the other one is communicating to us. You know, we've all been with people and they've been smiling so sweetly, but that is not what they're communicating, is it? No, we all get that. We all get that. And just the opposite is true also, that sometimes people tell us something that we are not really happy to hear, but we know that where they're saying it from is actually from a place of high regard from us, from a place of love. So I've been talking, I just have this feeling, this sense, that we are, again, in kind of an evolutionary leap in consciousness. And I think part of what I think this is that our mind will perceive things that it does not actually perceive right now. So if if you never saw a color, say the color purple, great name for a movie. If you never saw, but not the movie though, if you never saw that particular color, how could I describe it to you? It would be really, really difficult. I would actually, I think, have to show it to you, right? And so, what do you feel that's akin to a color that you've never seen? See, it's a new place. It's a new style. It's a new arena of thinking for us. And I think we're evolving to our next level of being. Why do I think that? Because so many people are so worked up right now. You know, and it looks like things in the outer world are crazier than they've ever been. And so to me, you know, I think that this is when the pot boils, you know, that's when things are about ready to change, you know? Now, I don't know, it's just the way we are. Things seem to need to get to epic proportions before they really get our attention, before we really, really take them seriously. So you can apply this to anything, I believe, that we are evolving to the next level of being, you know? And I think that part of the evidence for this is that if we look at our own life and we ask honestly, am I being everything that I could be? Am I really embracing my full potential? Am I fully actualizing all that is within me and expressing it in the greatest way in the world? Well, probably for most of us, the answer is no. Right? They say scientifically, you know, we use only 1/10 of our brain. That's another one of those things they throw around all the time. But I think, well, if we only use 1/10, what does that mean? Well, it means that we haven't fully developed it yet. That's all it means. You know, they say that people, now I know, it depends who you talk to, but say that people have been on Earth for about 2 million years. So comparatively to many other species on the planet, we're kind of new here. We're still figuring a lot of stuff out. Even though it looks like that we are at the top of the food chain, we're still figuring a lot of things out. Whereas other species, like dolphins, I love dolphins. How could you not love a dolphin? Didn't you watch Flipper when you were a kid? I love dolphins. That dolphins have been here, they say, for at least 50 million years. Okay? So maybe they've evolved in ways that we just haven't had enough time to do that yet. Anyway, evolutionarily, is that a word, evolutionarily? I may take a long time to change. But I think what's happening is that we're being prepared. Our consciousness is being prepared, and then all of a sudden, it happens quickly. And I think this is also what happens in the world, that it takes a long time for us to rise up to a new level. But then once there's like a critical mass and enough people have risen up, then it's easy for the change. So working on and healing the stuff in us is what will transform the world. Really, that's all we do. That's all we ever do. So the piece I have power over is to transform right where I sit. The people who show up in my life, my relationships, my challenges, that's what I have power over. And there's plenty to work on. Haven't you noticed? Right? So I think the thing is to not beat yourself up over this, to just say, you know, I'm really making my best effort. I'm doing the best I can, and it's important that we do the best that we can. So Ernest Holmes said this many years ago. He said, I want to be for something and against nothing. And I love that, because I think that is such an evolved place in consciousness, to be for something and against nothing. So as I look at it, what I see, and I'm not saying anything about other people that I'm not saying about myself. People do things, people sometimes have unskillful behavior. People do things that are off. And then I look at myself and I say, well, do I have unskillful behavior? Yeah. Do I ever do things that are off? Yeah. Not proud of it, but it's the truth. Right? So we all do this at times. The word genius comes from a Latin root, and it means out of something, nothing. Isn't that great? Out of something, nothing. So all the greatest discoveries come out of this acausal mind. You know, the mind that has no cause. It comes, because it hasn't been thought before, it comes from a place we haven't been to before. So I would say, okay, well, what's off? If I look and I ask myself, what's off? What's off is healed by loving it, not hating it. Now, tell the truth, we're in church. We've tried hating what's off, and it didn't go very well, right? I mean, we've tried, you know, from the time we're little. You know, you say, oh, my brother took my baseball glove, I hate him. And it's like, that never made him give back the glove, right? Because it just doesn't work that way. So healing is not accomplished by judging what's off or who's off. Healing is not accomplished by blaming someone who's off. Right? Because as soon as you judge it, in science of mind terms, you're in hell. You know, as soon as you judge it, your mind has gone to that hellacious place, and it's your job to fix the hinge on the gate. Okay, but the universe, the universe is good. I absolutely believe this. You know, I wouldn't want to be here. I couldn't do what I do if I didn't believe that fundamentally the universe is good, that God is good. But we do go unconscious and do things that are not of the highest and best order. We do things that are just off, right? And all there is in the universe, though, big spiritual truth, big picture, is goodness. Because God is all there is, and God is good. So goodness is all there ultimately is in the universe, and not everybody is on board with that. I get it. Not everybody's on board. People do things that are, we'll just say unskillful because it's nice and polite. So, but if, now there is conscious goodness, and the way I look at it is, and there's conscious goodness, and there's that which is in the process of becoming conscious goodness, you know? So some are not there yet, but they're in the process. And why I think this is important, I got to tell you, is that God didn't rush us, right? God's never said, come on, I wish you'd get it. I wish you'd wake up. When are you going to smarten up? When are you going to be loving? When are you going to be peaceful? When are you going to practice the teaching? You know, God doesn't say that to us. So why should we say that about other people? It's not helpful, right? That we notice things, I think, because we're supposed to lend our consciousness to them, right? Our consciousness is supposed to be part of what raises them up to this something greater. To just notice what's wrong with someone in the world, someone in our life, or to notice what's wrong with the world is not a great accomplishment. And I think we really have to stop acting like it is. You know, to just notice what's wrong, you know, no big deal, you know. Look, my dog knows when the dog food can in the pantry is getting low, you know. I mean, and there are hundreds of meals that come out of that big can in the pantry, but they know. They know. I don't know, do they hear it? Do they smell the absence of crunchy little bits? I don't know what it is, but you know. So, you know, in relationships, I was thinking about this week. It's never exactly 50-50, is it? You know, it's never exactly even Steven, as they say. And so what I think is so on the spiritual path is that whoever notices it, whatever it is, that's who's got to do it. Why? Because you noticed it. Lucky you. You're the one who wants to become conscious. You're the one who wants to live a more awakened life. I think we get in trouble communicating because of the previous programming about what's right. You know, that we have all learned scripts, different scripts along the way. This is good, this is bad, these people are good, these people are bad, this is okay behavior, this is not okay behavior. But you know, the next level of thinking is where we can hold this paradox, where we can think in a linear and logical way. Okay, that's useful, but simultaneously, I know that there is a wholeness of thought that's beyond that. And being in touch with that wholeness is, in fact, our connection to God. Being in touch with that wholeness is our connection to the greater, our connection to spirit. You know, it is confidence in the universe, confidence that the universe is unfolding as it should, right? So I don't have to stress. I don't have to worry. You know, one of my favorite lines in the Science of Mind textbook is, when we learn to trust the universe, we shall be happy, prosperous, and well. So I think part of trusting the universe is knowing that things are unfolding exactly as they should. So I don't have to stress, I don't have to worry, I don't have to try to manipulate the whole world to keep myself safe or to try to make things be the way I want them to be. As spiritual seekers, I think it's our fundamental responsibility to listen to what's going on in here, in our heart-mind rather than our body-mind, you know? That we have, I think, generations of stuff pressing in around us. I'm always surprised when I see myself do something or hear myself say something, and I go, oh my God, that wasn't me. That was my parents. Where did that come from? I swore to God I would never say that. I swore to God I would never do that. All of a sudden, I'm channeling Eddie from another dimension. It just like came right through me, you know? But I think, and so along those lines, the generations of thinking pressing in on us, the big areas, of course, we want to know, like the big ones, are sex, death, money, and power, right? That we've been programmed to be a little crazy around these 4 areas. And I think everybody has some. If you don't, I want to meet you later. But yes, I think we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot since our ancestors, and there are many things that are yet unfinished, which I would say those things that are unfinished are the pain that we have. See, because pain is refusing to let go of what God used to be and let God be what God is right now. It's because I think this next level of evolution is when there are no more walls in front of our heart and we actually feel another's presence. And that feeling takes precedence over the old way of having an opinion about someone's presence. See, because I think all of this comes from within us as an aspect of the love and the wholeness and the peace and the goodness that actually exists within us right now. I think when we're unconscious, on automatic, what that does is that really keeps us distant from other people. And what I hear from people all the time is they want to feel connected. They want to feel love. They want to feel union, right? I mean, that's what we want. So I think real freedom is when anything can come in and anything can come out, but knowing that but we see we can't have that freedom until I've healed the error within me, because then I won't trust what comes out. That's a new way of being. So the best thing you can do to support this step forward in the collective consciousness is to be authentic, to be as authentic as you can be. Just do your best to be the best you that you can be. If we start I've talked about this before, and I'm really fascinated by this idea because I think it's actually happening. That if we start to live like everybody can read our mind, you will alter what you think. Because it's just a matter of time before everybody can. I don't know if you've done stuff like this or seen stuff like this, but I remember when I was young, as a child, you are, I think kids just tell the truth, So I remember like going to somebody's house and saying, "This house smells funny." And like, oh my God, was that the wrong thing to say? Like my mother was on top of me, like, "Oh my God, he doesn't mean that. He didn't say that. Go outside and play." It's like, and I'm like, "Yeah, but it smells funny, doesn't it? It smells, why does the house smell so funny?" It's like you can't say that. You can't say. But that was my experience. That was my experience. That say Grandma's house smells funny. Why did Grandma's house smell funny? Well, because she just cooked 37 cabbages. That's why it smelled funny. But so I wasn't actually off. It's just that I'd been taught to not do that. But if so imagine that that we're living our life, and it's not just what I say out loud, but people can read what's going on in here. They just know. Wow, there's a lot of stuff I cannot afford to even hold in my head anymore. That it's like it's going to get really, really quiet up here. Because I think that's a step toward the wholeness that we're after. That we want to be whole, we want to love, we want to be loved. But you know how it goes. We heal something, and we think, "I'm doing great." But then we dip down a little more into a deeper level of unconsciousness, and we go, "Oh, I thought I healed this. I can't believe this is still here." But this was another level. And the reason we've gone down a little deeper is because now we have the consciousness, we have enough awareness that we could actually heal that. So look, when we can see everything as half full as opposed to half empty, I think that's a more powerful and empowering place to be. One of these things that Jesus said that's so paradoxical, and I'm just going to paraphrase it, he says, "To those who have, more shall be given. And to those who have not, even that which they have will be taken away." I remember reading that when I was young and really being upset by that. I thought, well, that's just so unfair. That's just wrong. I mean, fine, for those who have, even more shall be given, but the people who don't have, they shouldn't lose what they already have. But in other words, how you think is the direction. The direction of your belief is what's creating your life. So if you see yourself as somebody who has, more comes. And if you see yourself as somebody who lacks, even that which you have becomes more depleted. Right? So the direction of your belief creates your life. The power that's available to you is in your own belief. So it's important that we all take responsibility for how we think. I have to be willing to sort out my old scripts from what is actually the most wholesome connection I have to God, Spirit, love, the planet. And I realize that when I'm all charged up, when I'm worked up about something, that is actually the best time to deal with it, to kind of wear out a drama. Because probably, we got programmed in fear. That fear holds beliefs, ways of being in place. So in fear, most people, when we're in fear, most people are programming themselves or getting programmed in a negative way, right? And they'll even say stuff like, "Oh, I'm so bad," or "Everything I do, I never do anything right, I'm such an idiot," and this and that. Well, what to do? Well, just pause in the midst of that anxiety. We think, "Oh my God, if I pause, what will happen to the anxiety?" Well, it might go away, right? But pause in the midst of the anxiety and rewrite the script as you would like to write it. No, this doesn't mean that I'm stupid. That's not what this means at all. I've made that up. What does this mean? It means that I'm on the path just like everybody else. I'm doing the best I can, 1 foot forward at a time. See, I think that is you claiming your conscious power to participate in the universe fully right now. I think it's also a much saner way to be. Because you've got to do it over and over and over again to become more clear and more powerful. That we just take a step back, breathe. Okay, I'm not that horrible thing I said about myself. Take a step back, breathe. Okay, I'm not that horrible thing they said I am. One of the things I see here so much in our fair city is that people get really jealous of other people. Seeing someone else do what you want to do, what you know you could do, seeing somebody else have what you really want to have. And I think the antidote is actually really, really simple, is that begin to do it. Just begin to do it, right? So that some of your life force, some of your energy is going into that which up until now you had been maybe jealous or envious about, right? That even that little step, and so I'm not suggesting huge steps, I'm just suggesting little steps in the right direction. I think that movement is what does it. Because I think the old program is, if I risk, I won't get it, right? But the no movement creates this little hamster wheel for people where they're depressed and they're angry and they're resentful and they're depressed and they're angry and they're resentful, and that nothing good comes from that. So new life requires new participation. That's what it is. That's the thing. New participation. Right? I think it's okay to ask people, if somebody has something you want, to say to them, I want to hang out with you. I want to see how you do what you do. I'm inspired by you. Can you show me? Can you give me a few hints here? Can you help me actualize, right? And it's because what you support will ultimately support you. But again, it's just like what we started with. If we withdraw our good consciousness, if we withdraw our love from things that we're judging, there's no hope of them changing, of them coming into betterment. It's only because we put some of the best consciousness that's within us into those things that we would like to just judge and criticize and be angry about. I mean, if you need to do that, I say set a timer. No, really. Set a timer, give yourself some time, give yourself like 30 minutes, and just, stomp around the house and slam things. Do it when nobody else is there and your dogs are out for a walk. Don't do it in front of them. That upsets them. But, just do it. Really get into it. If you need to, get down on the floor and roll around a little bit, and then the timer goes off and it's all out of your system. Say, there, I did that. And then, honestly, take a look. Say, was that actually productive? Was that helpful? Did anything good come from my rolling around on the floor and kicking and screaming and saying horrible things? And it's like, well, no. Okay, so what I need to do then is ask people who are in a place that I admire to say, I would really love your support. I see you're doing something that's very interesting to me. Could you teach me a little bit about how you got there? They don't need to teach you a lot. You just need one step. You just need the next little step, right? Because if they give you 40 steps, you're going to be overwhelmed and it's just going to be back to the sofa with Pepperidge Farm. I know it too well, But if they just give you, here's the next thing, I think that's something that we can all do. Let's pray. So we turn our attention inward now, recognizing that right here where we are, the fullness, the allness of God, infinite spirit is right here. That we are blessed to be together in consciousness today. And so I speak this word for each and every one of us, that we are evolving to the next level in consciousness, individually, but also collectively. I know that we are on the rise, that things are good and they are getting better, that this is a spiritual truth, a spiritual verity. And I claim that this is the truth for each and every one of us here today. Knowing that we're connected with God and with each other, I speak this word now for each and every one of us. That the walls in front of our heart come down and that we come from that place of the best self within us, our most spiritual, conscious, loving, awake, aware self. We include in our prayer today our family members, our friends and loved ones. We know that right where they are, God is. We let our prayer be a blessing in the world. So all of those things that are going on in the world, we remind ourselves and we affirm God's perfect presence right there. We bless our church. We bless all churches everywhere. Synagogues and temples and mosques and ashrams, all paths to God. And I'm certain that we are blessed by being together today, that there is raising up, that we get to be healed, that we let go of something that doesn't serve us anymore, and we embrace a greater truth that makes us more free. And so with a full heart, I give thanks that this is so. I release this word, and together we say, Amen.